Basically, first of all, I would like to take this as the first thing that I have to give out is a disclaimer. You know, there's a possibility that most of you guys who are watching this, or basically some of you will take up this and say, you know, these guys are interested in 2027 politics. These guys are interested, in taking up a position, in some government office or in some opposition office. A disclaimer is that our interest is totally not aligned to any of the offices that are, situated anywhere, whether locally or internationally or globally. Our interest is basically and purely, first of all, for the youth. We are championing for the youth. In a country where 70% of the population are youth, but then again, 70% of those who are going to manage our resources are not the youth, they are the elderly. That is basically totally upside down. That's not what is expected. Our expectations and what we are trying to champion, and this is basically a wake-up call, is that the youth are now supposed to take up the mantle. The mantle is now upon us to take. It's not us to wait and be patient, and we are being told that we are the leaders of tomorrow. That's not the case. The case is that we are supposed to take the mantle right now. A case that I've just mentioned, 70% of our resources, or basically 70%, if I can put it, of the taxes that are being paid to the bigger cake are coming from the youth. But then let us check. In the cabinet, all the cabinet secretaries that have been appointed, all the permanent secretaries that have been appointed, all the chief officers, all the CECs, all those positions that have been, they are appointed positions. Do we have 70% of the youth? I don't think so. That basically aligns negatively to what we expect. So our case and our cause is to give out a wake-up call to all the youth. Get up. This is the point. Just to back up what my friend was talking about, Peter Salase being basically we can call him a mentor because I equate him to be now a qualified youth. You know, the other youth who basically give themselves the word youth, but they are past the youth. Salasia is now basically in terms of age, huyo ndio youth tunasema now is qualified to be called the youth. He has been in power for the last 2 years, roughly 2 years. How do we rate him? I think from all the ratings that have been happening for the parliamentarians, if I can equate what has been happening, Salasia has been performing way better than all the other guys. So what does it show? If I can try to, roughly just try to equate what he has done in the last 2 years to what Washali did with all these years he was in that seat, probably whatever Salasia has done in the last 2 years, ni kitu ya kuwa commended sana. So what does this show us? Youth basically are the ones that will now get us from being a third world country to being a first world country. If we keep on doing the same ways, the things that we were doing during the pre-colonial era, during the second liberation era, and we want to implement the same ways and the same techniques this time round, that thing will not happen. It's us now who are supposed now to take up the mantle. We'll not allow someone who has been in parliament for the last 40 years. If we can just check, even apart from the president, apart from the deputy president, look at the speaker, look at the prime cabinet secretary, some of those guys that are in the cabinet secretary positions, some of those guys that are in parliament, some of them even call themselves grandmothers and grandfathers of the parliament. Why? Not because they are performing better, but because they have been in the parliament for a very long time. That is totally not acceptable. For us, we are supposed to take up the mantle and lead the nation to the rightful position that is expected to be and where it is supposed to be. So that is our main focus, to champion the youth and take this as a whistle, as a wake-up call, that you need to now take up the mantle and lead the nation. My second point is this. Just to mention about the Western Province, the formerly referred to as the Western Province politics. Western Province politics, I think this is the appropriate time now. We are supposed now to define where are we supposed to be. For the last 10 or 20 years, since the late Kijana Amando, we've always been talking about the elusive Luya unity, or Mulembe unity, or Mulembe, they're coming together, they're talking about, they want to form a government, they want to form, something. That has always been referred to as elusive. I don't know. Is it a term that has been used by the media? Is it a term that has been used by those guys who are trying to dismantle the unity? But the term has always been an elusive unity. We'll not be using that word elusive forever. This is the time now we are supposed now to align ourselves, and take up the mantle. Always, Western is the second largest voter base not really in Kenya, but basically in the voter registration books of IBC. It is basically the majority. They are the majority. If I don't want to use the word shareholders, but they're the majority implementers of whatever is going to happen in the country. So they are supposed to take up the mantle, and they are supposed to get out of being referred to as the swing vote. The term swing vote has always disadvantaged us in many ways. Many projects have never been launched or have never been implemented fully, totally, 100% in our province. Many of those promises that have been given by, successive regimes, successive governments, all those leaders have never been implemented 100%. Yes, right now we can see some flashes of some projects being launched here and there, but for us these projects, will they go all the way to the end? Will they go all the way to 100%? If we can just take about a small example for projects in Buhungu Stadium. Buhungu Stadium has stalled for the last 5 or 4 years. Since the last regime was there, the Paranya's regime, the current regime right now is still struggling. I think the national government took over, but the last 1 month we can't see anything seriously moving, anything significant moving. All this aligns to how are we aligning ourselves in terms of the voter base, in terms of the politics of the nation, in terms of how are we, selecting our leaders and all those things. Now, so right now we can say we are, if I can say we are somehow divided 50-50. Some of us are on the other side of the government, some of us are on the other side of the opposition. Now, if we can look now, if we can try now to check on moving with the side of the government, the kingpin now on the side of the government is Mr. Mudavadi and Mr. Wetangula. Those are the main guys on the side of the government. So basically, those are the guys that we are now supposed to look up to. On the side of the opposition, we have, Mr. Paranya. I think Mr. Paranya and Eugene Wamala. Those are the two people that are basically that we are looking upon. Now, which is the best way for us? Are we supposed now to have a session? Are we supposed now to have a meeting? Like we need to call ourselves into a meeting, golf 1 week. Now we have to deliberate about it. Now we are talking about Mulembe unity. Now we decide, are we moving with the Mudavadi's section? Are we moving with Eugene Omala's section? We need to come up with this solution. And this is why we are talking about the youth. We are not supposed now to align ourselves with those two segments. We need to come up with a third segment, which is basically focuses on the youth, which is expected to cut across all those political divides. It's not supposed to cut across, it's not supposed to align on the UDA part, it's not supposed to align on the ANC part, it is not supposed to align on the ODM or Ford Kenya. It basically bases itself on youth foundation and taking the Western Kenya region to where it is supposed to be. So, if you just look at what Oparanya is trying to, figure out right now, of course, he's getting some stumbling blocks on the other end, just trying to get rid of all those stumbling blocks so that he can be the chairman, because we are trying to, we're just trying to anticipate that probably Mr. Raila Odinga will be moving to the AU chair, so that gap will be left. I think it will be so difficult for Mr. Oparanya to get that chairman, that position. It will be so difficult for him to get that position. What happens then if he does not reach that position? Will it mean now the lawyers on the Azimio side will just perish and go away? What about the other side? Mr. Mudavadi, there are some forces, we are being told there are some external forces telling him to wrap up his party and move into UDA. We have seen that some implementation, some amendments have been done to the UDA constitution, in that now we'll be only having one deputy party leader. That, of course, automatically picks Gachagua as the deputy party leader. Now, if you have two assistant deputy party leader, probably that's where if Mr. Mudavadi falls ANC and moves into EDA, that's the only position that we will fall into. Will that even make a good case for us to argue, or a good case for us to pick up from? That will be so totally wrong for us. So for us as youth, we need to pick up from that point. Now, lastly, just to talk about still aligning myself to the Western Kenya politics. We are supposed to get rid of this thing that for you to get a position, you must have held some bigger position before you get appointed, before you get elected into a position. In this case, most of our leaders on our areas, They have been coming from either a parastatal or probably they were working in in a police service or something like that, or they have been working as career politicians for a very long time for them to get those bigger positions. If I can look at, let me just use an anecdote of the politicians in terms of the governor positions. If I can point out Tanzania, for him to get elected, because alikuwa nini? A regional commission. That is a very big post before you got into that position. If I can check on the Bungoma side, Mr. Lusaka. Lusaka was the Speaker of the Senate, a very powerful position in our parliamentarian structure. If you can look at Kakamega County, the governor, currently the governor, he was a CEO in Ketrako CEO. Yes, he was Dogo. If I can go all the way to Busia, he has been a career politician, if I may call him so. He has been a career politician, he's been there for quite some time. I mean, all these governors, all these politicians, all these senators coming from our region, they have always been somewhere before they get to that position. We need to get the fact that if we can try to benchmark ourselves to other counties, or basically other regions that are away from the Western region, all those guys are not really looking at where this guy is coming from. Or is this guy loaded with money? Is this guy loaded with, the influence? What they are looking at is this guy able to perform? And we can see that from Didi Nyoro. Didi Nyoro can perform. Yes, he has been there for, not really a long time, but he has been there in politics. But the first time he got appointed, it's not that he was coming from a big position. But right now, he's always the first, to be ranked as the best performing parliamentarian. And I gave out an example of Salasia. He came from nowhere. Right now he's performing. If you can look at the other side of Nyanaro, Meru is a senator. Yes, he's doing a good job in terms of overseeing. So, young politicians are now supposed to take over with the western part of the region and guide us going forward. Without it, then we are not doing that. So, just to back up with all these things and just to summarize all these things that we're saying is that all these positions that we have been using to kumbaomba, all these things, we usually call it mbeko. For us, it is like, so long as the stomach is full, then we can do that. Yeah? Hiyo ndio kitu imekuwa tukinyanga. I'm sure mmekuwa mkiona ile emoji ya bora wameshiba wakasawa. We don't want that to be used now into our generation. The millennial generation, that was the same thing that needs to go all the way. We need now to take over from here and stop all those things that we are supposed to do. Just back up that disclaimer, we are not interested in doing first-hand politics. Yes, we've been in politics for quite some time in the back benches. But right now, we just want to, yes, we are moving from back benches, but for us, it's just championing each and every youth to take up the mantle, but we are not interested in any position, either in Western, either in the country, or anywhere around the globe. Thank you.
Answer. So, members of the fourth estate, this afternoon we are here to address a number of key issues which are happening in our country. More so, as you can see, we are the youth, and we want to start by touching on issues which we feel that are affecting the young people. Now, for the past decade, 15 years or so, we have seen how the young people in the country have been so proactive in terms of elections and supporting our political class. But what is happening after those leaders have taken the office? Now, this is we have seen and we are certified that it's a true definition in the case study ya ile msemo ambayo hutumika sana kwa siasa kwamba vijana wanatumiwa. So today I just want to address this constituent of the youths that it's high time that we stand on our own. We refuse to be used na hawa wanasiasa ambao tutawaita mabwenyenye. We know we've been campaigning for them. Very many youths out there have been campaigning for them, doing all the little works for them. But what is happening now, 2 years down the line, where are we? Where are the youths whom we are speaking for? And actually, I'm advocating for that cause, for the youths, that wherever the young people are supporting someone in any given election, let it translate and flow down to the service delivery and being appointed, being rewarded by the political class. Right now, if we look at chapter 55, article 55 of our Kenyan constitution, it talks about the youths. Where are the youths? Even the youths we are seeing in parliament and being given those posts as nominated to represent the youths, are they really youths? Let us question that position and start from there. If we have a true young person, and we know the definition of a youth according to the UN definition, United Nations definition, and any other dictionary available to you, is someone who is between the age of 18 years to 35 years. Right now, I doubt and I don't think we have any representation for us as the youths who are between that age brackets. Juzi, we saw there are a number of parliamentarians who ganged up and formed a committee calling themselves the young parliamentarians. Are they really young people? Looking at Wamshomba, is he young? Looking at Babu Wino, he has now transformed to be, he's no longer youth. Where the posts which are reserved for the youths, in fact, even if it's a nominated youth, and those people and those who purport to be youths who have been nominated, what are they doing for us? Now it's the time that we are calling all the young people around the country. Let us stand up and be ourselves and look for our space. Now this time round, we have the young people who have declared that they are going to vie. Let us rally behind them so that I'm sure they will not forget their fellow young people who supported them. And those young people who are elected in several capacities to serve Kenyans, are they really working for the young people, or they are being used as to rubber stamp the decision of the elderly people? And in particular, coming to that point of the youths in the country, I have something 65% response or so. But where are they? In the whole of Western Kenya, since the time of memorial, we have never seen a young person taking the mantle of leadership or coming to stand for election. What is happening in that region? Right now, it's only maybe Salasia is the only one who looks like a young person, but is he whatever he's doing in that area to fight for the young people? We call upon him to come up and hold and leave this issue, leave this cocoon of following these elderly people. Like we see him always following Eugene Wamalwa everywhere, following Oparanya everywhere, following Baba. Salasia, come out, look for the young people. We are there. Hold us hands because at least you are ahead. So that we can work together. You are a young person. You are no longer an old person. Let us form our party so that we can use that party to vie. We know it's very hard in Western Kenya to get a certificate to contest in any election in those parties which are there, be it Ford Kenya, be it ANC, be it DAP Kenya. As a young person, it's not easy. For you to get that ticket, you need some qualifications, which my friend here will talk about. Now, let us change this narrative, and for us to change this narrative, nobody will come to change it for us. It is we ourselves who will have to do that. Another issue I really want to talk about this issue which is going on between Natembeya and the Speaker to the Assembly. You know, these are leaders, and the Western community, the Western community has been known as a community which doesn't value unity, a community which doesn't have unity for a very long time. Since immemorial, we have seen during the last time the Luya community actually we had. That community spoke in one voice. It was that time when the late Wamalo Kijana was the political kingpin. We could see across the region, be it all the way from Trans Nzoia, Kakamega, Busia, Vihiga. It was the political party which roared there was Ford Kenya under the steward, the leadership of Wamalo Kijana. After his death, things have always gone south. We've seen battles. When we try to bring people together, we could see Moses Wetangula moving the other side. This faction of Ford Kenya, and Eugene Wamalwa going the other way. And And since then, everybody has been doing his own things. ODM came in between, took another faction. So, whatever is happening, please, we are calling upon the Trans Nzoia governor, Mheshimiwa Natembeya. Wewe ni governor, work for your people. We don't want to see you telling us how good you are. We don't want to see you pointing fingers to other leaders. Let your actions, kufanya kazi kwako inafaa ituonyeshe sisi wewe ni kiongozi mzuri. Wacha vita, fanyia wananchi kazi yako itafanya sisi tukupende ama tukose kukupenda. To the Speaker of the National Assembly, you are the national leader. Please stop this fight with the small leaders. Kama Natembeya, let him do his own things. Wewe fanyia watu kazi. The Luhya community for a very long time, since 2013, we have left behind because of the political decisions we've made as a region. You know, I just want to agree in some way, not on the bad note, on what Rigi G, the current deputy president, said. Actually, politics is dynamic, and politics is like a company. We know we cannot run away from it. And whatever he said, it's what has been happening, and we know it has been happening. It's only that we know Rigathi Gachagua was a truthful man, and he came out to tell us what has been happening. We know the people who forms the government are the people who will share the powers. Now, the Western region, we've been in opposition since 2012. We supported CORD, we went in opposition. 2013, the same thing. That's why we have never seen anything going on, any project happening in Western Kenya. Even the appointment, we had only one CS, and he comes from we know Trans Nzoia is associated with Western, but it's a county in the Rift Valley. In Western region, for the last 10 years, hatukukuwa na waziri hata mmoja. PS, they were not there. Appointments, in fact, those few people whom we had in government walikuwa wanafutwa kazi because we were in opposition. So this time round, at least we have a percentage of us, a percentage of people who supported the government. Now we call ourselves we are in government because of Musalia Mudavadi and Eugene Wamalwa. Sorry, not Eugene Wamalwa, Moses Wetangula, the Speaker, and the CS. We have a number of cabinet secretaries. At least we are enjoying this because we can say that we have almost our 30%. So, and we can also note that there are some projects, even if on the slow note, which are happening in Western Kenya. There is a debate about reviving the sugar industry. We have seen the efforts by the government. The president has been in Western in several around 2 or 3 times talking about the sugar industry, trying to revive the sugar industry. We remember the famous quote of Mambo ni Matatu, that when he was trying to work around the sugar industry and the story around Mumias and Nzoia Sugar. And you can do your own research. Nzoia Sugar Company, at least it has picked up, it's working, because we have a small percentage of us who are in government. Next month, on 1st, we have a national function happening in Bungoma, that is Jamhuri Madaraka Day is happening in Bungoma. Something which has never happened for a very long, if it happens, maybe it's a very long time during the times of Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. It's happening now because we are in government. We have a percentage of us who voted the government side. We can see some roads coming up, the roads which are happening there, the state road being done there in Western Kenya. So I'm just calling upon we, the people of Western, let us stop these small fights like what we are seeing between Natembeya and Moses Wetangula. That's not a good picture. If we do that, we are continuing now to rekindle the people's, to confirm the fears of people who used to say that the Luhya community are the enemies of their own. So please stop that. And if you don't stop that, we are watching as the young people, and we're coming for you. And for a fact, I'm telling you guys, wherever you are watching, that we are not interested in these fights. and for sure those people right now, sisi kama jamii tutasema tumejanjaruka, na wale watu ambao wanatuharibia jina kwa kupigana, kutusiana viongozi wenyewe badala ya kufanyia kazi, siku ya kiyama inafika. 2027 ni karibu. We are coming for you guys, and don't be surprised, you will not come back. Secondly, I really want to talk about this issue of the issue which is happening in the country. We start with the issue which happened in the Ministry of Agriculture. You know, it was very bad that at a time the country has been struggling with issues of hunger, issues of poor farming, issues around agriculture, that a whole minister in a country sitting in a ministry where he's watching over wrong things happening in the country. Actually, it was bad that Kenyans, the hardworking Kenyans, who are farmers of this country, and we know agriculture is the backbone of the country, and if not the first or third, the third sector which contributes to our exports. The CS being in the office, you are watching Kenyans being sold stones and sand. That was very bad. When you cannot be, you are not even accountable, you are not even ashamed, and making a step of resigning. We call upon the president should not even have condoned that. This guy, the CS for Agriculture, Linduri, should have resigned. You know, the issue which brought Kenyans to the streets, it was the issues about the cost of living. And in Kenya, talking of the cost of living, actually the cost of living for most of the Kenyans is that they don't afford to maintain and sustain their basic needs. And food products, maybe flour or what, and we saw most of us went on the streets demonstrating because of hunger. Then when the president has made a good sign and indicated that we are going to subsidize agricultural products, that is fertilizer and mbegu, we have a whole CS who want to sabotage that. Actually, that is economic sabotage. He should be arrested. At the moment, he should be behind the bars. We don't know why is he still in office up to now. So the CS agriculture, please, we want you to resign. We want you out of that office. Thirdly, the issue of floods, which is happening in the country. It has really exposed us as a country in terms of our preparedness. Emergency preparedness. We didn't expect this. Now it has come. It has taught us how the country we are not prepared to handle some of these disasters and emergencies. In developed countries like the US, China, UK, if a country loses even a single life from an individual, people must take personal responsibility. They must be accountable for this loss of lives. So it is a wake-up call to our country that we have to be prepared. And I'm not surprised that we have people on the payroll who are being paid and they are in charge of the country's disaster management when there is little being done about that. Just the other day, a few days ago, we witnessed what happens in Maimayu. People lost lives, properties were lost. What is going to happen? Are those lives going to be restored? Are they going to be compensated? And if they are going to be compensated, is it enough to compensate our family who have lost their lives? Yeah. So it should be. We need to, as a country, actually there is a lot which has to be done. Now, the last week there was a debate about the rising and the ballooning wage bill. Now, some of the people who are on this high wage bill in a country, they are the same people who cannot even manage to handle the issues in their dockets, like the disaster and whatever. And the people who are being paid on monthly basis, they are getting allowances. But little is being done from their side to regulate and ensure that every person's life is taken care of. So there is a lot which needs to be done as a country. Then I want to address the issue of devolution. And let me tell this, let me send this directly to my county of Bungoma. You know, devolution came to devolve power, devolve resources to the people, bring resources close to the people. Initially, and even now, we are praying that it's even better that we should have the centralized government, because what is happening now, we are forming a hub of looting. Less is being done for the people, and billions are going to the ground. Yeah, most of these counties, there is less which is being done, but we are only seeing the few people, individuals, enriching themselves, enriching their families, enriching the closest allies. Less is being done. So devolution has to work always. And now I get to understand that the biggest problem is oversight in those counties. What are our senators doing? They are not giving full. They are not giving it full in performance of their services. They are supposed to oversight the governors. But if the governor looks, who should be blamed? The person who has been given that chance to oversight. And senators and the members of county assemblies, they have to be accountable. They have to ensure that these governors are working for the people. But currently, there is none who is doing that, who is working for the people, because the lives of the people is not changing, but the lives of few individuals is changing. The few individuals against the majority of the voters. So there is a lot which has to be done in terms of oversight at our counties. Now, allow me to take this to welcome my friend, who is also my colleague in this movement, to make a few comments, and then we can take up from there.
You know, they always say that you have to make your house before you go out to start poking other people's issues. Now, when Rigathi Gachagua is not the best. Okay, just to use it as an example, Rigathi Gachagua is not one of the de la cream of the best politicians in central Kenya. But the people and politicians of central Kenya gives him respect. The fact that he is the deputy president and the leader of this country, the people from the Mlima Kenya gives him and accords him all the respect and the support that he deserves. I have never seen anywhere the former president coming out to tell Rigathi Gachagua, Tawe. I have never seen the seasoned politician in Mlima Kenya like the former Kipipiri member of parliament, Amos Kimunya, the respected leaders coming to say Tawe. We have respected leaders like Beth Mugo. We've never seen them coming out to say Tawe to Rigathi Gachagua. We have never seen Ibrahim Maina coming out to say that Tawe to Gachagua. We have never seen the General Karangi, the former CDF, coming out to say Tawe to Rigathi Gachagua. But you come to our region, that is a western region. When a leader has just found a few coins, he thinks now that he's the de facto leader and the spokesman of the community, that he thinks that he can come out to start spoiling and mudding the name of our leaders we have. And let me be passionate. In Western Kenya, for Wamalwa Kijana to become the kingpin, he never abused Musalia Mudavadi in any way. For Masinda Muliro to become the kingpin, he never took a war to the dog, the father to Moses, to Mudavadi. For Masinda Muliro to become the de facto leader and Wamalwa Kijana, they never took war to Martin Shkuku. They never took war to Burudi Nabwera. These people, the Wamalwa Kijana, for him to become the de facto spokesperson and the de facto kingpin for the Luo community, it was through his deed and selflessness. We are told that in history, and we have read it, that Wamalwa Kijana almost became bankrupt because he was a selfless leader who was ready to serve the people with whatever he had. That's why he won the people's heart. And when Moses Wetangula came in, The community accepted him that he is our spokesperson. Musalia Mudavadi, the community accepted him that he is our spokesperson. And they have always been going the different direction until 2017, when Moses Wetangula said that now I'm the spokesperson of a certain function of the Luo community. Mudavadi the same. They came together to bring us together, and the unity that at least the 70% or 80% unity that the Luo community are enjoying now is because of the coming together of Moses Masika Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi. Now we are seeing some other forces who are trying to come and divide our people. We are not interested as the people. For us, we need service delivery. We need work to be done. And the Speaker of the National Assembly is not just a seat. We know and we know election was lost and won in Bungoma, courtesy of Moses Wetangula. Let us speak this. I just heard the former Trans Nzoia governor saying that the Moses Wetangula didn't contribute much. If Moses Wetangula was in Azimio as we speak now, Raila Odinga would be the president, because the 200,000 votes that the difference between William Ruto and Raila Odinga was 2,000 votes. And in Bungoma, William Ruto got 200,000. And we understand that Bungoma has been voting for Raila Odinga. It's only this time that it flipped to William Ruto, courtesy of Moses Wetangula. So please, Governor Natembeya, be respectful, respect the leaders. The leaders who have been seen that they want to bring these challenges and problems and political disruption, political divide in the Western community. We have known what happened. Just the other day, we saw those people who tried to bring a coup in Fort Kenya. The likes of Wycliffe Wangamati, the likes of Eseni Simiyu, the likes of Wamunyanya and the rest, and Mokesa Kitui. Where are they? They all lost elections. We saw those people who tried to fight Wetangula, who tried to fight Omolo Kijana. They are nowhere in the political scene. So, kindly, the governor of Trans Nzoia, be keen, note this. They say in the Luo community, they used to say that your road will see a lot of boom, it will be slippery. So, kindly just stick on your service, provide service to the people of Trans Nzoia, and many leaders are calling you to stop this theatrics you are doing. Serve the people of Trans Nzoia. Our leaders are Moses Masika Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi. They are representing his government. Since 2013, we have never seen any development, any appointments. Right now, we have a number of CSS. Our people are being appointed as governors. Our people as ambassadors, high commissioners, the CASs and directors. So please kindly respect the leaders we have. Concentrate on serving the people of Trans Nzoia. Thank you.